Hello students, today in your algebra class you're going to be working on multiplying exponents. So let's try a couple quick warm-up problems. This would be a really good time for you to pause your screen and try solving these two warm-up problems. Hopefully you've paused your screen and you'd realize that number 1, where it says simplify, 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, or 2 to the third power. And for number 2, hopefully you notice that you could cancel these things out. So this 2 divided by 2 cancels, leaving you with a 1. That cancels, leaving you with just 2. Now, at the end of this lesson, you should be able to combine terms when multiplying exponents. So let's try two quick example problems. In example 1, all we want you to do is simplify it by really just telling us how many x's we have. So if you can count, you can do this problem. So this gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 x's. So x times x times x times x times x is x to the 5th power. So notice that as we're multiplying these exponents, we're just adding up their exponents and putting them together. For example 2, we've simplified it a little bit more. We have x squared times x to the 5th power. Notice x squared is in red and x to the 5th is in blue. So when I expand it, x squared is x times x in red, and x to the 5th is x times x times x times x times x in blue. So if we have x to the 5th, or x to the 2nd times x to the 5th, that's really just x to the 7th power. So whether you expand it or write it out or simplify it like we did above, it's still going to yield the same answer. So as we go through this, what we'd like you to think about is, how can I simplify these problems, so x to the 2nd times x to the 5th, how is that x to the 7th without having to expand it out? So let's try example 3. We have x to the 4th times x to the 3rd, and we expanded it out again. So in total we have x to the 7th power because there are 7 x's. And same thing for the original equation up top. So now, for example 4, notice that we have x to the 5th times x to the negative 6th. Hopefully by now you've realized that as we multiply exponents with the same base, like notice they're both x's, we're just adding their exponents. So really we have x to the 5th plus negative 6, and we have y to the 2nd plus 3. Now if you simplify that, you get x to the negative 1st power, y to the 5th. And that's your final answer. So you definitely want to write this note down, that when multiplying exponents with the same base, we add their exponents and leave the base alone. So a lot of times in the book you'll see x to the a power times x to the b is equal to x to the a plus b. So notice we're just taking the two x's, we're adding their exponents, and we're leaving the base alone. So let's try one more problem, bonus example 5 problem, just to make sure we have this down perfectly. So what we're going to do is I'm going to steal this original problem from example 3, and we're going to make one small change to it. We're going to say, what if we have 5x to the 4th times 2x to the 3rd. Now notice the 2 and the 5 aren't the same bases, so really what we're looking at is 5 times 2. And 5 times 2 is 10, and because their x's are just like the ones we had in example 3, it should still say x to the 7th power. Now it's your turn. Try these 3 problems, write them on your notes, and we'll check them tomorrow. That's it for now. I'll see you guys next time.